Coming to you from the BroTrips Studios, it's your gurus of golf, the top trip takers and the golf shot makers. It's Joey Freshwater and Mr. Never Lost. Put your hands together for the first ever episode of the BroTrips Podcast.
Welcome everybody to the first installment of the BroTrips Podcast. Your co-host here, Joey Freshwater. I'm sitting here with Kenny, my co-host. You want to give yourself a little intro, Kenny?
Kenny, Mr. Never Lost, undefeated, never lost. You know, whatever everybody calls me.
The hashtags.
Hashtags, plenty of hashtags. Greatest putter alive, all that.
Love having you here. We also got producer Jarrett on the cameras, videoing this. Quick shout out to Palm Tree Content in Tampa, Florida, for all of your content needs, videography, photography, Instagram managing. That man is the best. He's the best in the biz. He's been doing our work for a couple years now. I'm sure you've seen our content over the years increase in quality. That has everything to do with the people behind the scenes. Producer Jarrett is the man.
Thanks. I'm going to chime in every 5 seconds and ruin the podcast for everyone.
Every 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's actually going to make the podcast better.
Yeah. We need you, producer Jarrett. Roll the footage.
You guys rock. My favorite podcast.
I love this. So, starting out, we'll give a shout out to our quick sponsors. First ever sponsor going to my boy Wayne over at Jerzy Jerky. Premium brisket jerky here. This stuff is incredible. I love the sweet heat. What you got, Kenny?
I got carne asada.
Yeah? Is that your favorite?
Oh, that's my favorite.
Okay.
I
like the sweet heat. Carne asada is good. Even a little tropical fusion every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not bringing beef jerky to your golf trip, are you even doing a golf trip?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Something else I love about Wayne's group over there is their philanthropy. They have something called Ella's Dog Treats, which is a premium dog treat. Ella's Dog Treats, no preservatives, no artificial flavors. There's also no coloring in there. They're also a proud sponsor of Canines for Warriors. They give back, and I love that. Wayne's a good friend of mine, and he's coming from the right place. So if you haven't had Jerzy Jerky, I highly encourage you to look them up and get you some shipped to your house. So, Kenny, what's up, man? We're here.
We are here.
It's 8 years in running. It took us that long to finally feel, I would just say, like, confident enough and, like, have the resume enough to talk about it.
We had a vision.
We've had a vision. Started out funny.
Eight golf trips. Now we know we can do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're now at a point where, like, we're subject matter experts, I'd say, right? And we've learned a lot along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Learn what to do, learn what not to do. And I'm excited that on this podcast, we're going to be talking about those things together, hopefully guiding everybody listening. Also, it's a golf leaning podcast. The goal is to be the most, relatable golf podcast out there. We're just average guys, just normal people, just on the side, having some fun, chatting it up.
That's right.
Reliving a little bit of our greatness on the course, but also like giving some good feedback and some content for the listeners moving forward. So,
well, what about handicaps? Let's start with handicaps. What's our handicap? In our group, you're number one.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Adam clipped me.
I looked at it this morning. You're number one.
No way.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay. I'm a 4.
4 handicap. That
means we don't have any good people on the trip. But I'll be a 4 coming in. We got Vegas and Utah coming up, which we're really excited about. And we'll get into like where we've been, where we're going at a later date. But yeah, I had no idea that I was on the top there of the leaderboard. I always thought I was like 3 or 4.
Man, you're there. I'm looking at it. This is verified. Always verified.
Okay.
Right?
And where are you at these days?
Oh, I'm a 13-8. We know that. I'm just a comfortable hack. Yeah, 4. Adam's up at 4-5. So you're
really?
Number 1. Yeah.
Is he sandbagging going into the trip?
I think so. He's tied for second with Jay. So.
Oh, don't get me started on Jay Dalton. I love that guy. Probably shouldn't be throwing his last name out there, but my bad.
My bad, Jay.
He don't care. FYT. So like, let's get started, man. I just think that we should not go in chronological order. I just want to say some disruptive stuff because disruption and disruptive content is like relevant nowadays. And I think that by making a claim that I'm about to make might trigger a few people out there in the golf world.
What's the claim?
The claim is going to be, I think that our 6th annual 2020 trip to Michigan made Michigan, in my opinion, and again, it's based on subject matter expertise. I think Michigan is a top 5 destination golf trip.
Wow. You sure?
Bro, you tell me.
Man, I tell you, it was beautiful. You know, you're on Lake Arcadia Bluffs. You're on Lake Michigan, 9 p.m., watching the sunset while we're still playing. Picturesque. It was beautiful. Definitely a golf destination to try out if you haven't done it.
I think it's pretty funny. Like a lot of these influencers, as you'd say, on the IG these days, or the TikToks that y'all do. A lot of them, I have a hard time calling them subject matter experts. They're just influencers because they're prolific in ChatGPT, and they're, hey, write me a 400 or 200 word review or a caption about a golf destination. Like, we've searched for things like that, like where should we go, and the key points are always popping up, the Bandons, the Pinehurst, things like that. But I don't think ChatGPT is ever going to say your team and your group and your people should go to Michigan, Northern Michigan.
Yeah.
I think it's a disruptive comment. And again, I am in no means trying to be an influencer or want to be an influencer. I just want to speak on more of a consultative approach and a fun approach. And I think people that are, influencers, and the word is so alarming right now, but like it's overused and abused. I think like an influencer is just someone who is good at getting traction and having a good following or buying a following. There's groups out there right now. We're gonna beep this one out, but like golf trips out there, and then there's other haters out there, which we're gonna mention later on in the show. We'll bleep them out, right, producer Jarrett?
We're gonna bleep them.
Amen. So, but like those guys have at one point there was like 59,000 followers. They were following 25 people, right? And they had a post. Their first post was like 3 weeks ago. I mean, it was 3 months. Excuse me. It was back in March. However, nowadays, I just looked them up today just to get my facts straight. They had like 39,000 followers, and they were following 500 accounts or 400 accounts or something like that. So again,
right.
These are people that are just ChatGPTing everything. And they're like, hey, go get this, go on this golf trip, which cool, good for them, man. But I think for us and our perspective, and why I think the Michigan comment is such a disruptive or such a out of left field comment for people, is because the exposure on social media and all these things you're seeing and hearing are echoing, Google's analytics and the search and the ChatGPT searches. And for us, we've been going on these trips, like not even, and just putting this out there, we have been planning trips and taking trips for many, many years. I mean, from an organized fashion is 8 years,
yeah,
right?
That's right. We've been golfing for over 20 years. It's
easily.
Hey, we're going to go this weekend. Let's go. So it's
correct.
Right. This is organized 8 years.
Exactly, and not only that, every year, like I end up accidentally, planning a trip to 2 other places just in case the group tends to not want it.
Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. Well, that's another thing is, what do you have to do? There's this person that doesn't want to play 8 rounds of golf in 5 days. There's this person that hey, I only want to play premium courses. Then you're like, oh, but you don't want to pay the cost. So then you're like, oh, I don't want to spend $5,000 on a trip. But you want to play those premium courses. So, I mean, how do you outweigh that, Joey?
That is a fantastic question. And we'll probably end up doing an entire podcast on appealing to your audience and appealing to your travelers, because as most of people have seen and heard and followed us on Instagram for as long as we have been on there, appeasing the entire group.
Appeasing 12 guys.
Or 16
guys,
now.
Or now it's 16, right?
Yeah.
This first year we're going to 16. I can't imagine. It's
impossible.
We have a group chat. You say something. This person's like, no. This person's like, no. This person is like, no. We got to come together.
That's the whole reason that this exists. Other than the fact that my wife said, hey, you spend more time planning our own vacations. I hope you're making money off this, which I still am not making any money off this. But and a couple dollars that we do make gets reinvested back into the business. That's and cool branding and like the ability to have some premium content creation from Jarrett, producer Jarrett over at Palm Tree Content. Plugging again.
All your cool partnership.
How many times do I have to say palm tree content on this podcast in order to? Just kidding.
I'll give you $10 every time. So.
Oh man, we're gonna make some money.
Yeah. Listen, we're getting into we're leveraging the brand a little bit. We've got some amazing relationships. Like, we're not fully on sponsored by, but like we have amazing relationships with like Bad Birdie Golf. Hashtag, is it BroTrips 15 gets you 15% off any merch of a Bad Birdie, which is amazing. Yeah. I have like a really good relationship with the head over at EP Head Covers, which are premium head cover makers. They're the standard for all of head covers, and there's such a they're right behind me here. There's a
is that ostrich skin?
This
right
isn't a faux ostrich skin. We're not murdering harmless ostriches, but we do have that. We've got some the stacked BroTrips logos there. They make all of our covers. They've been doing it for a couple years. They did down below. You can't probably see it on the camera angle, but we did valuables pouches.
Oh, great valuables pouch with all the Pinehurst. We went to Tobacco Road, Pinehurst, and so that was a great trip.
But I think for this podcast and what we want to do and what we want to accomplish, and what we hope to talk about is, relevant stuff in the golf world. So we'll say some things that are a bit controversial, which is what I hope to do, like the comment about Michigan, which we're going to get into more of that.
Absolutely.
There's some other fun segments we're going to do, courtesy actually of producer Jarrett, which is really neat that he brought something to our attention. And, and we're just going to have some fun, man. We're going to talk about Rory going to live golf. You don't want to.
Well, after his divorce is finalized, right? Yeah, that's got to finalize.
Don't murky the water with with the prenup, but I still think it's going to happen.
Oh, man.
I think it's going to happen, but that can be another conversation for another day and another show. But let me get back on track here because I squirrel a little bit. I think this Michigan thing was really special. And for me, I've always been the one that kind of spearheaded the destinations, and I've spearheaded where we're going, and I kind of, I get the group excited for what's next, and I've never really had an issue like selling a destination anywhere. It's usually kind of just a foregone conclusion. Also, probably because I'm the one that does all the work and puts the hours in, et cetera, and people just tend to say, you know what, we've had a great trip so far, let's plan the next one, but...
Right. There was not a lot of appreciation. I mean, I know there's countless hours that you put to it, and for people to say, "Oh man, I wish we would have done this." Like, well, you know what? Why don't you plan it next year?
We're a bunch of alphas, man.
Yeah.
Like 12 dudes, trapped in a big ass house together for 4 or 5 or 6 days. Like, there's always going to be testosterone and alpha mentality, and everyone that goes are competitive, except for the ones that just want to go ahead and have fun. Got you, Jay Burr. Yeah,
got you, Jay.
But at the end of the day, like I know everyone's appreciative. I want to make that on the record to be clear. I know everyone that has been involved since day one knows what I put into it, and I'm not self-serving like to the where I have to have everyone on their knees thanking me. Like, it's not about that. It's about bringing an environment and bringing an experience to all of my friends. And us, we've kind of like gelled together, and we've added a couple pieces from people's different social circles. But we all go out and we have, we have a handful of days at the most elite courses in the world. Hashtag first class or no class is my mantra. Hence the argument earlier about, do we do expensive courses? Do we do? Man, if I'm gonna fly to California or to Michigan, or if I'm going to fly anywhere, I want to play the best of the best. I don't want to pay some goat cow pasture out in the middle of nowhere. I know we got to have those things.
Yeah, you got to fill those in. I mean, you don't want to spend $5,000 on a trip, so you got to throw that $7,500 round in there. Maybe it's just for, hey, we're playing, scramble here. We're just gonna play a scramble here. This is not for any of the the trophies or anything that we do. So it's definitely good. But.
We need to have a whole segment and a whole. An episode, I think, on the trophies.
Oh man, the trophies are awesome.
I think we're adding one this year too.
Adding a new one here.
Yeah. Which I'm really excited about, and I think it's been a long time coming. We've all kind of talked about the importance of having a gross and a net trophy winner because of handicaps.
Yes.
But the prolific, the
it's
Dick Trophy.
Me win 2 of them, net champion.
Yeah. Hashtag net champion. The prolific Dick Trophy.
Oh my God, 2 of them. We brought 2 of them last year. We had to give away 2. Short course.
Oh, that's right.
Pinehurst.
I forgot about that.
The Cradle.
All right, let's get back on track.
All right, back on track. Michigan. So what you gave up? You said
Well, I kind of hit a roadblock.
Someone needs to do it.
I think I got something at the end of the 5th year, and I just said, you know what? Everyone has these grandiose ideas.
That's right.
And I said, whoever wants to submit where we should go next, if you want to have a little presentation, and if you want to have a say in the matter, and instead of me like doing all the work, I'm like, you know what? Here, I blasted out into the group. And I said to the group, like,
gave us a deadline.
Yeah, I said, you're by this date, have a presentation.
That's right.
And
now, mind you, we have realtors, we have sales guys, we have all these people that like,
Alpha,
hey, we have someone's going to come up with something good, right?
I mean, there's a lot of great ideas.
You know, some people would just wanted to say Piners. Some people just wanted to say Tor. You know what I mean? So then we took it and ran.
I mean, it's really just teeing you and one other guy up for this conversation. So why don't I lead us into this pack? So I'll give us a little bit of a heads up. So we had 2 primary presenters, and it was a realtor who was a good friend of ours, and he was adamant that we were like, going
hands down.
Yeah, it was
down, and I had to screenshot that. It's not even close. Was the exact word. It's
Hashtag
not going to be
records.
close.
It's always on record.
Always receipt. Pull the receipts up.
Keeping receipts. You've got receipts from like year one. You have to.
Have to.
You have
keep
to.
Those receipts.
So we had Adam presents San Diego.
1-page document.
You can talk trash about his presentation.
He's a salesman. Had a 1-page document. He didn't think I was going to go to the extent I was going to go. So Kane did a lot of the research. I just put the presentation together. I made sure it was flashy. So that, we did a PowerPoint, and I did. Kane we wanted to go Kohler. We want to hit up Black Wolf Run, Whistling Straits, and throw in some fill. But you had to stay at these resorts, so we would have to do a lot of moving, and then it was going to get expensive. We started looking at it like, hey, do we really want to spend this kind of money? And it's like, well, a lot of us, can do that, but then there's some that we want to go on the trip. That's like, hey, I'm very frugal. I don't want to spend that. Yeah. So we took that into consideration. It was like, what about Michigan? No one's talking about Michigan.
Yeah.
And Arcadia Bluffs was the one. I think that's like, we got to play Arcadia Bluffs, right? So, I mean, that was one where we flew in. But so anyway, so put the presentation together and, had all the pictures, had all the stuff, had the flights, how much it was going to cost per flight. So it had like a roundabout number of what it was going to cost. But it was really the presentation. And talk about hands down, or it was not even going to be close. It wasn't even close. It was, San Diego. I mean, if I would have done a presentation on San Diego, we would have went to San Diego. Like it was that's
bold statement.
We would have went. But so Michigan, no, it's not even on anybody's radar. It wasn't on our radar. Arcadia Bluffs was.
Arcadia was, yeah.
Boyne, the Petoskey or Petoskey, however you say that,
Petoskey,
Michigan, that area there, Boyne Mountain. But man, it was beautiful. Of June, absolutely beautiful. Arcadia Bluffs.
Yep.
We played the South and the North course.
Yep.
I mean, you could just look up video footage of that. Look at the photos. The
scenery was amazing. The food, everything about it. Even the drive. If you look at Michigan, the Mitten, I think camera this hand.
This camera.
You're over here for Arcadia. So you fly in here. You go over here, and you get to drive up the coast through Traverse City. You get to go through, and this is a beautiful time of year. You've got the sunflower fields are like blooming. There's a bunch of beer and wineries up there. Then you go through Traverse City. You go up north, up to like the Bay Harbor area.
Yep, Bay Harbor.
Yep, Bay Harbor. Incline Village is up there, and the monument courses and all those. So we had an incredible time. But I think just allowing, for me, getting to take a little bit of a step back for once was nice. Right. And then I think that those that were involved in the planning.
Well, big shout out to Kane because he did. He did not, like I said, he did most of the planning. I put that presentation together, helped him out here, made some phone calls when I needed. But, I mean, Kane set that up. So it was a good shout out for you, Kane. Michigan was great. It was, to that point, trip number 6, it was my favorite. And we went to Arizona. We've done Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
We've done all these other. Up to that point, it was my favorite, but it wasn't even close at that point.
Yeah, it's again, I don't think it's a disruptive comment, but it's definitely controversial to say that Michigan goes in the top 5 golf destinations. There's so much to offer there. I think that it's maybe more of like a value proposition too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's hard to compete with a Pinehurst or a Kohler or Whistling Straits or Abandon, like obviously the juggernauts, but like if you're putting together a trip for 12 to 16 or even 8 guys and or girls that are looking for a good value plus incredible golf, pound for pound, you're not going to get a better value proposition than you will with Michigan, in my opinion. I think the logistics of Michigan, and this is like some of the tidbits that we want to throw in there, figuring out scheduling and time of year with Michigan's important because I lived in Detroit for 4 years, love that place. That was one of the things for me motivating to go to Arcadia as well, is like I had lived there and I actually never took the trip because it's not convenient to go from Detroit to the other coast. Like it's 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Easy. You got to go through Lansing and it's just highway. But I tell you what though, if you can logistically plan, whether you're flying into Grand Rapids, whether you're flying in and out of Traverse City, right. Those are all great options, and then you can kind of dink and dunk around. And I just wish our trips could always be longer because there's always so many courses. Like, I wish we had done that. I wish we had done that.
You can't. It's too much golf. I hate to say that, but your body, you want to go 5 days and you're playing 36 holes. It's a lot of golf for guys, So we're,
Correct.
But beautiful, man. It's you want to hit those spots. Then you also want to do, hey, there's this bar I want to go to. There's this restaurant that I want to go to there. So you got to wrap those in. Like, hey, we're doing that Friday night. We're going to the other place Saturday, and then you're trying to get that, and then set up this tee time, going to the other course, making sure you have the morning tee time, that you have the drive figured out, 1 p.m. tee time, whatever it is. But for Arcadia, man, we played, I think it was like 4 o'clock.
Arcadia we
were there for a couple hours, walking the grounds, doing some training, hitting up the driving range and stuff like that. But man, it was amazing. It really was.
I think Arcadia
bagpipes in the morning. You forgot about the bagpipes.
I didn't forget about the bagpipes. Okay. I was saving the bagpipes. I always try to have a little bit of like flair or some sort of like surprise for the group. This year is going to be I'm just kidding. I'm not going to tell anybody for Vegas, and Utah, but I had on Thursday or Friday evenings as the sun is setting, Arcadia Bluffs, the Bluffs course, they have a bagpiper, and it's a guy and his nephew, I believe, or son.
Son or nephew, yeah.
There's 3 of them, I think, that circulate through. And I had found this out doing my research when I called Arcadia to plan everything originally. And they're like, oh, well, if you're there, you will see the bagpiper. And I was like, what do you mean the bagpiper? And they're like, yeah, and the sun setting, there's a bagpiper that stands by the clubhouse. And I was like, holy shit, this is such a great idea. So I call, and I get the Bluffs to give me the phone number for the bagpiper.
Yep.
He's out of town that week that we're there, but he goes, my nephew can do it too. And we couldn't do it on the Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday evening we're there. But we got him to come in the morning. South course. Yep. So we're on the South course, and
it's raining.
It's pouring. Like, we're in the clubhouse about to tee off. It's like we're in at 8 a.m. for typically 7:30 first tee times. We're all hanging out, and then the rain comes in, and I'm like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And next thing you know, that kind of like a little divine intervention.
Yeah.
The sky kind of parts out.
The sun was out.
And then, of course, he's a young kid. He's a little late, not going to lie. And
he's
definitely late. Pulling up in his like little Toyota Camry, like late 90s Camry. And he gets out. All I remember is him jumping out of his car. And we're all in the tee box, like a little starter house there. And he's running with his bagpipes to the first tee. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And everyone's like looking around because there's only a few of us that know about that. I told you and maybe one other person because loose lips sink ships here. And like, where the hell is this guy at? And I'm like texting him, and there's a bag going down. And at the end of the day, then he just starts playing that Celtic, That is what you call the reason why we don't do what is it?
Roll
live?
The sponsor graphic.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it rolling and we'll fix it.
Yeah.
We'll just speed it up.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. How did that just happen? I think we're good. Let's hope we don't have
We're
another
back,
episode.
Baby?
Yo, producer Jarrett coming through, baby.
In the studio.
Let's go, producer Jarrett. Thanks, sir.
Is the beef jerky break over?
Yeah, dude. You want some beef jerky, Jared?
Are you opening some up?
Whatever. What do you
Dude,
want
we
to
didn't come here to say no.
Sriracha style, carne asada, sweet heat, fury, jalapeno, and smoky barbecue.
Let's do.
There's also
carne
tropical
asada.
fusion.
You want the carne asada? Oh yeah, tropical fusion is it's pretty good too.
Yeah.
You want the carne asada?
Yeah.
That's my go-to. Let's get it.
Again, a piece there.
Yeah, let's get a piece.
Nice.
You want a piece?
Me too. My wife is gonna be so mad.
That we took it.
She is. Is it called misophomo? Where like you don't like to have chewing noises or like if my nose if my nose was whistling on this podcast, she would probably leave me. She'd probably leave me. She'd be like, I can't be married to a guy whose nose whistled on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's where she draws the line. There you
Totally
go.
cool with you destroying the set though.
Oh yeah, I didn't destroy the set. The set destroyed itself. But I'm not.
fell apart.
I'm not going to chew in the mic. If there's chewing in the mic, it's 100% can't.
No, I'm away from the mic. Look
Nope,
over here.
nope.
I'm not even looking at the mic.
We can edit it out.
Oh my
I
goodness,
have a chewing filter.
bro! What we do? Carne asada.
Mm-hmm.
This is the official flavor of BroTrips Jerky. Did you know that?
Bro, it's
And we're having a. I don't want to. Do I want to spill the beans?
Let's go to the next episode and do that one. Do it then.
I think I could do that.
Yeah.
I think
or
I'll.
you can spill the beans at the end of the episode, and it keeps people watching.
There you go.
Look, if the flavor, the second official flavor of BroTrips beef jerky is the hook that keeps people coming back, I think that we got to do a better job on content, boys.
Yeah, that's right.
So, this is
All right,
good.
back to the story. So, bagpipes.
Yeah, so yeah.
Everybody's shocked. Everybody's surprised. Everybody's got the cameras out now.
And everyone, we're teeing off
Yeah.
to the bagpipes. That was, I think, the coolest part is like the Celtic song, like the traditional
Yeah,
bagpipe
that's
songs
right.
playing in the background. And everyone is just teeing off. And again, the weather is not great, which is surprising because Michigan summers are prolific for
Yeah,
for
that
being,
was like the day before was perfect. It was just that morning,
Yep.
that afternoon drive up to, Boyne Resorts. I mean, it was amazing. And the rest of the trip, there was no rain. It was just that one time.
I agree.
But it did set up some good, sunset on Lake Michigan the night before. So with the, because that rained all night.
Yeah.
After that, so
Yeah, there's something to be said about a sunset in Michigan on Lake Michigan
it
there.
was crazy.
We have photos, and I'm sure producer Jarrett's going to throw it up there.
Throw it in
There's
there. Show
there's
those
going to
photos.
be,
show that video, show that clip of the
Yeah.
sunset.
and you literally we're chasing daylight at this point,
We're chasing the
and
whole
I'm pretty
17
sure
to
we
get dark.
probably teed off at like 4:30. We got
it was-
3 groups there, and I mean, son of a biscuit. Done with the jerky, the second jerky break.
That's when you roll the clip. It's right there. Roll the clip at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. You were talking about chasing daylight.
Yeah, so I mean, it's 4. You tee off at like 4:30. They're like, yeah, as long as you tee off by 4:30, you'll finish. And I'm like, what? Like,
Sunset's like
you
8.
sir, like
you're
it's
from
insane.
South Florida.
So it's like I think the one time on the timestamp on one of the photos like 9.
It was after 9 p.m.
Yeah,
it was like 9:17. I think
yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was.
And
Crazy.
it's like you just see this red orangish ball of fire, and there's just enough light casting off of the lake to illuminate the course. Now, don't get me wrong, like
18. Yeah, it was dark. By
it
18.
was dark,
Yeah.
but it was. I mean, to be able to squeeze that in and get everyone to the location and sneak that round in really before the trip started, I think we've done a really good job of like having these marquee kind of destinations. Because the reality is the bulk of our trip was up in Boyne.
Yeah.
Right, like
We only played
there wasn't
the
enough
two
golf.
Arcadia, yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough golf. Now, I know Arcadia has actually purchased a ton of property and real estate over in that area. So you're going to see other courses. They're going to have a short course and a par 3 course coming. They're going to have these things. And they just, like I said, the South course is only a couple years old. But their footprint and their model is very similar to your destinations, your Stream Songs,
Right.
your Pinehurst, those style, the Bandon style. It really is the Bandon of the Midwest. Like that is the easiest description I can give you of Arcadia. But there's so much undulation. There is a ton of just amazing scenic views. I think there's 4 or 5 holes on the water there, and the clubhouse is incredible. The Adirondack chairs, everyone. I remember like before we teed off,
sitting out there,
we're just chilling. There's like probably 30 chairs, 20 chairs, and our entire group is taking up most of them, and we're just hanging out. Everyone's smashing. I guess were transfusions a thing yet?
Transfusion. I think they just came out. That was like a big thing.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest transfusion drinker myself, unless they're frozen transfusions. Don't get me started on that. It's a plug for that. But
so you're having the John Daly then?
I'm a daily guy. I do that, or I think actually that was the trip that made me never want to have Fireball ever again. That had to have been it?
I don't know. Kane, a big shout again, Kane, Fireball guy. I'm a Fireball guy. Kane's a Fireball guy.
We are not plugging Fireball as a promoter or a sponsor on the event. I don't think I've actually touched Fireball since Michigan.
Wow.
I had a ton of really great Michigan beer. Like Oberon's one of my favorite beers. I'm not even a big beer guy anymore, but Oberon from Bell's is the best summer beer in my opinion. It's like a really good Blue Moon, and that may be insulting saying that, so I apologize in advance, Bell's. Not that Bell's would ever be listening to this podcast, but I would say that Oberon is the best on-course summer beer if I was going to have any. But yeah, hindsight, going back to the original point here, Arcadia is a wonderful like marquee destination. It's a top 100 course. I don't know the ratings depending on who you're talking to. Some people have them in like the teens, I think. They go to the mid 50s. But they're top 100. They're worth all the drive and the hassle of getting there. But if you're doing like a 3 to 4 day trip, there's just not enough golf there.
That's right.
So you can't really centralize an entire annual trip around that unless you're going for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, but again, they'll eventually have it.
Right.
Like that's happening. Like they have all the real estate they bought. They're probably going to start to, I don't know if they're at their development, but I know that they're going to do more out there. But that kind of led us up to...
Yeah, then we went up to the Boyne Resort, Boyne Mountain Resorts, and then stayed up there.
Yep.
Rented a big house out in the woods, out in the sticks. Thought we were going to get murdered every night, but no, we were good. But the second day, so we get that's the first night, that's the second day. We drive up the second day. Then the third day, we play the Monument and the Alpine course, which,
That's wild.
Wild, yeah. So you take a golf cart for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're going up the mountain for 20 minutes, and Adam was hanging out the side.
I have some incredible content from Adam in like kind of like windsurfing off the side.
A winding road up the mountain, and then the course you just go back. You just play the course all the way back down.
Yeah.
Both of them. I mean, you use both styles.
It again, pound for pound, quality of golf.
It's beautiful.
Price point. You discovered these little nuggets.
The weather was perfect.
The weather was phenomenal. Other than the South Course, the first tee off.
Yeah,
there.
I'm saying, but like going forward from that, after that, the weather was great. I mean, we got done with the Monument, went lunch across the street at the clubhouse.
The beach house.
The beach house.
Beach house restaurant.
The beach house
at Deer Lake.
That's right.
Oh my God!
Crazy.
You want to talk about what to do and what to not to do? What to do? The beach house restaurant at Deer Lake was something that we never would have like stumbled upon had we not gone there. Like I think we were just there popping bottles of rosé, like in between rounds,
hanging out onto the umbrellas and stuff. And you look out to the water. The water's beautiful. They got a little beach there.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are in the water. The parents are there. There's grass, nice grass. There's no ants, right? So it's beautiful to lay in. But then we went back and played some more golf after that.
The other good thing, I don't know if you remember this. Did you get a smash burger at Bay Harbor?
Man, I can't remember.
Was it Bay Harbor? That's of course
the one with the quarry and the preserve. Yeah, that's Bay Harbor.
Yeah. There was like a food truck.
Oh yeah. There was a food truck in the parking lot. Yes, that's right.
Did you smash it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you smash burger?
Absolutely.
I love smash burgers.
Yeah, smash burgers are great.
I'm a connoisseur of the smash burger.
That was a great view as well.
That place, I got my ass handed to me there. I played the worst golf I think I have ever played. I think I shot 99, which is...
so we played Crooked Tree in the morning.
Yep.
And then we went. It's just right down like a mile down the road on the lake.
Yep.
And then again, I mean, it was beautiful.
It's one of those things, and we had it kind of at when we were in Arizona. where like every course was like
Yeah,
they were
stop
very
and take some
similar.
photos.
Yeah, you're very similar, and the course conditions are phenomenal, and they all are just like that much better.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Michigan had that, Arizona had that, Pinehurst when we did our Pinehurst trip.
Pinehurst.
Like I feel like everything that we played was amazing. Then we had like trips that went to Myrtle. We did the Innisbrook run. We did some Brooksville stuff in Florida.
That's
But
right.
like you play a couple courses, you're like, I could never go back.
Yeah.
But for us, you know, the Michigan.
But then again, you play a couple courses that you want to go back to, though, and then you know, filter out the other ones. You
Yep.
know, the Willbrook Plantation. Well, that's probably the worst we've ever played in Myrtle Beach.
Hey, producer
probably-
Jared, you gonna beep that one out, or
Yeah.
do we want to leave that one on the
There's
record?
some courses that we, you know, look, we had a great time there. We played there. You know, it's one of those fill-in courses. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
have those. So, but yeah, it's man, a lot of good golf that we.
Yeah, Michigan. I again, it's really
Before Pinehurst, it was number one for me.
okay. We're gonna have to have a whole entire episode on the Pinehurst
Oh, my God.
run because
Yeah.
that was, you know,
I
that
think you need a rankings episode too.
there's gonna be
We gotta have a ranking.
yeah, that it'll happen. Thanks, producer Jarrett. Cool. So I do want to. I would say the only thing that was kind of sparse, and probably kind of a pet peeve for me, and producer Jarrett actually gave me a little bit of this content nugget. One of the things in being out in Michigan, the only real downside was there was not a lot of like bev cart girls.
Oh man.
So like because again, think about where you're located. The cost of golf is low. Don't get me wrong; it's a great destination place. But you know, when we were at Pinehurst, we had a bev cart every 3-4 holes.
yeah.
There are snack shacks along the way.
That's right.
They're kind of built out for the traveler golf kind of group thing.
Yeah.
But Michigan, you kind of got to be a little bit more proactive in bringing your alcohol if you're
Stopping
going to
at
consume.
9, stopping at the
Your clubhouse. But the reason why I want to brought things up because I was going to talk about like what not to do is don't not bring double negative there. Don't not bring like your provisions on the course and even some food. Like I think one of the things that I forget a lot when I'm playing golf is to not have food. I don't have food, so we have Jerzy Jerky. We have with
Or
us
hydration, liquid IVs,
Yeah.
Propel, whatever.
whatever floats your boat there. Those are all very critical.
And in Arizona, chapstick. Gotta have that. I'm just blisters.
Yeah, that's that. If you're not used to it, absolutely. But producer Jared actually he gave me this trivial question. He goes, "Do you know how the bev cart started?" And I was like, "No." It's like one of those really cool, useless trivia questions.
Thought it was always a
information. Yeah, yeah. The bev cart always was.
Yeah.
Right. It's
When golf began, there was a bev cart.
There was a bev cart. There always was. Do you know the history behind this?
So you shared some with me, and,
Yeah.
but it started in Vegas.
Yep.
Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
And it was if they would only play 4 or 5 holes because they had to get a drink.
Yep.
So
They
that was
refused
like
to play
they were-
18
that's
unless
right.
they were drinking,
That's right.
right? And they would play 3 or 4 holes, and they were at at the time it was the Desert Inn.
Desert Inn. That's
Yep,
right.
the Desert Inn, and thank you Sinatra, R.I.P.
Oh.
Can I
Bless
submit
us.
a question?
Absolutely.
So why did they stop with bev carts at golf? Like these guys are hammered 24/7, right? What else in our life needs a bev cart? Like the grocery store? Like what if there's a bev cart girl at the grocery store?
There is, honestly, Publix here in Florida, the Greenwise, they have the pour stations. You can go get beer and wine and shop in the cart. Now, the carts actually have a cup holder.
There you see.
Shout out to Publix, one of our boys, Marky Mark,
Yes,
is a
general
big
manager.
Publix guy. He's the man. So, that's a great point. Like, what about like a bev cart girl while you're podcasting?
Oh yeah.
Where's the bev cart girl here?
Come on, producer Jarrett. What happened?
Yeah, here's a leftover Gatorade. That's amazing. You're exactly right. Like there's
corporate office.
there's
You're
a-
in your cubicle.
I
Hey,
think
you need a
that,
drink?
I think that there's a couple really interesting questions and conversations we can have about the bev cart because
Well, bev cart or snack shack?
that's another great question.
You know what I mean?
That's another interesting perspective.
Would you rather have a snack shack every 6 holes, where you're going up? It's every 6 holes, so it's 18. 6,
Yeah.
12, 18. Or do you need that bev cart every 4 or 5 holes? I mean, what's the allure when you see her?
I think
when you see her like a whole 3, you're like, oh, she's gonna be around a lot today. You know what I mean? And then you see her get, you
that's
may
a good
need
point.
to
Pace yourself a little bit.
pace yourself. Yeah.
It's funny because the snack shack is like, so let's say you're teeing off at a golf course and the starter goes, all right, you're gonna have snack shacks at 6, 12. I guess it's just 6 and 12.
6 and 12. Yeah. It wouldn't be
maybe you could do it at like 4, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
That would make sense if you're going to do 3 snack
That's right.
shacks. That would be like kind of annoying, I think. I don't know. It also depends on if the course does the course circle back to the clubhouse at the turn.
Well, what about Stream Song? They had the one place.
Yeah,
Where
they
was
have
that?
like the food shacks out. Like one has
Yeah.
like a barbecue stand,
That's right.
one's a taco stand. Yeah, those are fun. But I'll tell you, here's my argument why you can never like forego a bev cart girl, right? There's something to be said about being on a tee box and being like, where's the bev cart? And then looking up in the distance, and then there she is.
She's coming.
She's got a big old cart. It's a bev cart. It's typically
it's going the
gas
opposite
powered.
direction.
It's going towards you. Hopefully no one in your group like hits one into her. Like there's no one that's that talented in our group,
No,
anyways.
you
Like
can't aim it.
they will mistakenly hit her. They
Yeah.
will never like intentionally. But like I think for me, like yeah, it's nice to know like when you're gonna hit the shacks. That's why
You like the surprise. You like
I do.
the gift of it.
I think I like the gift of it. You like the gift of it, and it's the experience of like, hey, I can't take cash, or I gotta stamp your card.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's
the worst.
on
That's the worst.
That's on the
Like,
the golf
shop.
shop.
You take card?
No, I
we
don't.
take card. Like,
I can take your number down, your credit card number down, and bring it to the golf. That's annoying. That should be a call to action for all of the
get better.
Yeah, all the
Thank
golf
you.
courses out there that have issues with their bev cart technology. There are so many good options out there. Just give them a swipe card or like one of those little touch pads. Everyone just easy touch or touch tapless content.
Apple Pay.
Exactly. Just do that. Like it's not that difficult. But back on track again. There is something to be said about it being hot out there, or you're just finishing up your last transfusion or your last John Daly or your last beer,
Whatever you partake in.
whatever your provisions are, or just Gatorade for lack of a better thing, whatever. And then the drumming noise of the gas powered golf cart that's carrying all that extra weight, just brrrr, and you hear
you
it.
gotta clip that
Get
one.
going. Oh, that's going to go in there, producer Jarrett. We're going to emphasize that. Brrrr.
Yeah,
It
the
comes
internet's
up.
undefeated, so you just open that up.
That's it. And then she pulls up, and you guys want anything? Absolutely. I think I can confidently count on one hand the amount of times I told the bev cart that I'm good. Right? Like maybe if I just made the turn and we got a.
Sometimes you get peer pressure into it. It's all four of you. Like, hey, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting something.
Well, that's
okay.
it. That's
well,
it.
let's go. I'm getting
someone
something
in
too.
your group is getting
Yeah,
something.
someone's getting something.
No, I got you. Like,
Yeah.
can I get a turkey sandwich? Whatever it is. Like, you sing. The other thing is like singles or doubles. I've never met a person that ordered a single drink on a golf course. You get doubles every time, right? Like, why even
of
do
them.
it then? Yes, you're getting 2 doubles. We're double fisting because they're not. The bev cart's not going to be around for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 more holes, whatever it is. You're gonna be prepared, right? Or else you're going to regret that you not have it.
That's right.
So I think if you're asking me my question and what my opinion is, I think that the bev cart's undefeated. I really do. I don't get me wrong. The snack chats are cool. I love hitting the turn. I love hitting the clubhouse at the turn and grabbing a cocktail there, or pork missile, or glizzy as the kids call it nowadays. But at the end of the day, I think that the bev cart is undefeated, and I think that we owe Sinatra and Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, yeah.
Dean Martin and Sinatra and the Rat Pack and producer Jarrett for that wonderful abundance of information. I think that we owe them a massive amount of gratitude for what we have today.
Can we name the guy who orders a drink every time because he just wants to keep the bev cart girl around? Like Jody or something. Like he needs there's that guy who here comes the bev cart girl.
Oh, you want to give that guy a nickname?
Yeah.
So there's that one guy in the group.
You mean that
There's that one guy.
creepy ass dude
Yeah.
that's always hitting on the?
I already have it in mind who it is on our group. We got a Jody. We got a Jody.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who it is.
I don't know.
We got a couple Jodys.
Well, off the record, we're gonna have to have that conversation. But yeah, you always got one. And look, some of our best friends' wives like worked on a golf course.
Yeah,
and
they did.
We could do an entire podcast, I think, speaking to all the nasty stuff that
the old
and then
guys.
Look, it's important that we go out, we have fun, first class or no class. We do it right. But like you don't cross a line. Like you don't want to cross a line. At the end of the day, it's a gentleman's sport. We're gentlemen. Like we're out there. We're not going to do something that gets us kicked out. Like that, there has to be a line. But yeah, Jared, to your point, there is absolutely that dude that is like macking on the girl, and they're always the most drunk and they're always the most belligerent. But hopefully they tip well in lieu of that.
That's right. Tip well.
That doesn't make it justifiable, to be very clear.
Agreed.
You just because you give someone an extra $5 for a cocktail doesn't mean that you can go out there and just like talk to a Bev Cart girl any way you want to. They should be highly regarded. I think actually they should be put on a pedestal. They bring provisions to us.
How much better do they make the trip?
Always better. But that's, again, back on track with Michigan. Like, that was something I would say was kind of lacking.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of when I did see one. I mean, it was few and far between.
It would have probably been only at Arcadia, at the Bluffs course, and Bay Harbor. I don't think that Monument and any of those guys had him, but I could be wrong. So,
interesting.
Well, first episode in the books here. What do you think? You got anything? Any other parting words for the audience?
No, I think you nailed everything.
I think that
Michigan underrated. Let's just say that.
Yeah, to summarize it, I think without doubt, Michigan is a top 5 destination golf trip when you're factoring in everything as far as value, scenery, what you're getting for that cost and investment, as well as just the experience, the quality of the course. I'm actually really surprised how good the conditions are for having such a short year and window of time.
That's right.
For them to grow grass and for them to fertilize and for them to do and treat the courses. That to me is like kind of an anomaly. I don't know much about golf course management.
We went in June.
Yeah, we went in June. Yeah, June, July, August. Michigan summers. There's like songs called Michigan summers. Shout out to Michigan, the Mitten State, and we loved every bit of it. And I think everyone here, we appreciate all of our audience and our listeners. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our Instagram, our TikTok, and our Twitter, our X, whatever it is, Facebook. MySpace.
Oh my God!
Are you? Would I be in your top 8 friends?
You would 100% be in my top 8.
Producer Jarrett, love it. I love to hear that. But yeah, check us out, BroTrips.com, BroTrips LLC, and majority of our handles. And then, keep an eye out. We've got our 8th annual trip coming up here very soon. So we're going to have a ton of content coming out of that. That'll be coming at another time. Tune in next time. We're going to talk more and more about what to do, but more importantly, what not to do on your next golf travel, with your friends. So y'all have a wonderful day. Deuces.